Hello, I'm back. I didn't actually expect to really be back this soon, but when I was laying in bed, I thought about something else that I would talk about, and it's probably more shit than I talked about last time in the food thing. And since it's October, uh, and Halloween is coming up in a few weeks, I wanted to talk about stuff that scared me as a kid. And I'm probably gonna go in from as early as I can remember to, like, I guess more recently, trying to think of what I was scared of as a kid. I made some notes here, and the first one on my list is I remember hiding in my room and peeking through the door of my room to see my parents watching, like, Bride of Chucky or something. I remember they told me to stay in my room while they watched it because I'd be scared of it, and I'm pretty sure I was scared of it because I remember being at a family member's house. I don't know how they're related to me, but I was there and they had a Child's Play. I know they had a Bride of Chucky VHS case in, like, their closet, and, like, the faces on the front of Chucky, and the other one scared me, so I would, like, leave leave the room when I saw it. And on the subject of haunted dolls or voodoo magic dolls, uh, I remember being scared of, like, Goosebumps, Slappy, whatever the hell that thing's name is. I recently watched it like a couple years ago. I was like, why the fuck was I scared of this? This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. But I was scared of Slappy, the like dummy. He looks like a 1920s gangster. Ooh. I was also, like, afraid of the intro of Goosebumps. Not like the whole intro, just whenever the dog would pop up and do the shitty barks to the music. For some reason, that scared me as a kid. I don't know why. Again, I watched it recently. I'm like, well, it's just the dog barking to the music. It's stupid. Like, his eyes glow, I think. They glow green or something. Maybe that scared me. I don't fucking know. The next thing on my list is something that is very, I don't know. I wouldn't say important, but it's something I thought about for a long time in my life. There was this, and it's gonna sound really dumb, but there was this Halloween CD called Horror Sounds, and I have it. I found it years later after searching for it. Like, I have to know what it is. I have to listen to it because it used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. I'll probably play a little bit of it, like the intro of it, because the rest of it is just, like, spooky sounds and, guys saying, "Oh, you'll never get out of here alive," and screams and stuff. That shit used to scare the shit out of me. Now you can still buy this CD. People have it on eBay. It's $20 though. I don't know if it's. You can probably find it online. It's 55 minutes long. I think it repeats halfway through. But I always remember it because it has the same purple CD cover. It's got some Frankensteins on it. It's got some lightning bolts on it. It came from Walmart, as far as I know. That's the one I have right here. $2.94. This is probably a re-release, but this came out originally in 1995, I believe, which ironically is the same price as it is on eBay. I remember it being played in, like, elementary school. Like, one of my teachers had it, and I was like, "Oh no, I gotta deal with it here too." I remember purposely scratching it up so no one could play it. I didn't want to, like, admit to anybody that I was scared of it. Back then, I was a big baby. I had a dream about it. It was me going next door, and, like, my panda plush from my childhood was tied up to the front porch of the next door house, and I had to unlock or unchain it, but the song was playing, the Halloween CD was playing, and I ran away, and that's the most I can remember of that. It was really cool. Cool. I don't know if it was cool, but it was interesting to hear it years later. Like, I bought it, like, as of now, like, 6 years ago. I found it and bought it. It's not scary. it's more nostalgic than anything. Now we're gonna be moving on to something else. Something else that terrified me when I was younger, which was screamers on the internet. Now I didn't really grow up having a computer. In fact, I only ever got internet when I had a job and bought it for myself. All my internet access came from school and came from the library, which I would go basically every day. You know, you sign up, you get like an hour to 2 hours on the computer each day, and then they kick you off basically. Now, this is before they had this sign-in system where you had an actual time limit. I mean, if no one showed up to take the computer, if no one was scheduled to take the computer, you could just basically stay on it all day if you wanted. And I would do that. I would play RuneScape and stuff like that. I would play Adventure Quest, stupid shit like that, watch Newgrounds stuff. This was like early 2000s stuff. But I remember my first screamer, and it wasn't even at the library. It was at a friend's birthday party. They were on some website, and it was this little screamer that was like, "Hey, listen to this music backwards and look at the lyrics." And you would look at the lyrics, and after a while, it would just pop up the spooky exorcist face, and that was my first time experiencing a screamer, which I don't think it affected me at the birthday party, but I don't remember having a reaction to it. I was just kind of confused on what it was. Maybe I wasn't looking at the screen when it popped up, and I kind of, turned around and saw it or something. But I remember later, maybe like a year later, not I don't know the timeline because it's been so long now. But I was at the library and I was in the kids sections. I was definitely below 12. I was probably like 10 or something. And I was on a website. Maybe someone remembers this. Maybe it was just like a niche little thing. I don't know. It was called subliminalmessages.com or .net or something like that. You would go there. There would be like little puzzle challenges, like, oh, look at the are you colorblind, listen to this audio. It would show you legitimate subliminal messaging stuff. And then the farther you went, the more screamers there were. Basically, there was the one where you had to do a colorblind test, and the last part of it was basically impossible, and it really wanted you to look at the screen, and then a screamer would pop up. I think I skipped that one. I'm pretty sure I skipped that one, not knowing it was a screamer. I was like, this is boring. I'm gonna go on to the next one. They had another version. It might have been the same thing. I don't remember, but it was something similar to the one at the birthday party, where it's like, listen to this song backwards and try to find the hidden message. And then, I'm leaning back in the chair. By the way, they're not like office chairs or anything. They're just normal ass chairs. So when that screamer pops up, my fucking body seizes up, and I almost fall out of the chair. I remember like my heart like stopping for a second. It was like chills went through my body, which is, it's dumb, but I'm a kid. I'm like 10. It's a screamer. I've never seen something like that. I didn't know the internet could be so cruel. But yeah, I I I didn't say anything. I didn't scream or anything. I just like seized up, like I froze, and then I was like, I'm never going to that. I'm never going to that fucking website ever again. And from that point, maybe like a few years later, anytime I saw the Exorcist face, I would kind of like get that same kind of feeling in my body. Like I would tense up, and I'd be like, oh shit, I don't know how to explain it. You just like freeze up a little bit when you see it. Now I don't really give a shit. It's whatever to me. But this was back when I was like 10, 11, where I was a huge baby about everything. Speaking about being a huge baby from everything, going back a little further, I was actually scared of the Mortal Kombat 2 reptile fatality where he eats your head off. And that's something that was way before the screamer thing. This is like when I was like 3 or 4 or something. Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo. And speaking of Nintendo stuff, Nintendo 64 brought out my fear of deep water and underwater stuff. I know this is a big thing. A lot of people share this fear, but Like in Banjo-Kazooie, the shark in whatever the fuck the level is, the beach level, I forget the name. But that shark, I remember going downstairs to the living room or wherever the N64 was, sitting on the floor when no one. It was early in the morning. No one was up. I remember playing that level, and I remember seeing the shark, and I got that same like freezing up feeling. I was like, oh my god, it was the shark coming after you. It was the music. It was the water. I don't know. It was spooky for me as a kid. And it didn't stop there. Basically, all the N64 games, for some reason, wanted to have a big open water level, which I hated because it would freak me out. Banjo-Tooie had it. Banjo-Tooie had a few sections of it, if I remember. They had the biggest level was Atlantis. I remember swimming. You have to basically have to do the level from what I remember. So you got to swim down, and you're swimming down, and you see these one-eyed anemone like creatures, and I was just not having it. Like I had to really force myself to play through that level. They had the octopuses from Donkey Kong, I think those were the same, and they had the giant fish that you had to go into. It just why did these games have these levels? I mean, I'm not expecting them to cater to like a little kid who's afraid of it, not put it in, but it's so weird that basically all the games had like some kind of big open sea level. Donkey Kong 64 had it with the water level in that, and that was spooky for me, even though there's basically nothing in the water from what I can remember. It was just the idea of like anything giant could be in the water with me, and that freaked me the hell out. Oh, back to Banjo-Kazooie. Speaking of giant things in the water, it doesn't show up until you sit on the pad or whatever, or activate it. But the big dinosaur in that cave with the deep water, where he comes out and basically eats you, and you have to like clean his body inside or whatever, do the shooting mini game. That scared the shit out of me too. Even stuff rising out of the water scared me. Stuff in Mario 64, obviously the eel. I know people were afraid of that as a kid. I I mean, it's a big, scary looking eel. A Dory, to a lesser extent. I don't really remember going to that level often. Gex 64, or whatever that game was called. I remember two places scaring me. They both had the same music, if I remember it. It was the horror level, which is one of the beginning levels, which the music itself scared me, and I had to turn down the TV so I didn't hear the music to get through the level. There was like a Titanic level from what I remember, and that scared me as well. Like there's a lot of old 3D games that scared me. And this is probably the only thing I'm kind of a little bit afraid of, in a sense. I still don't like deep water in video games. I'm not gonna like freak out, but I'm still a little bit uncomfortable doing it. Uh, I kind of have to like put it in the back of my mind. It's a video game, of course, but it's just subconsciously I'm like, this is freaky to me. And the latest this has happened to me, that I can remember, it's Saints Row 2 for the Xbox 360. There's an Easter egg where you go out, you jet ski out on the water, and you follow these arrows, and you can find like a secret island with like the Loch Ness monster swimming around it, and that was a little spooky. But then you can find, if you continue following the arrows, you can find a giant version of their mascot bunny who slowly comes out of the sea. I saw that, and it brought back like the fear of God in me. It brought back the fear of water, the fear of the old N64 days. And this was, I don't know, like 10 years ago now, whenever Saints Row 2 came out. It was startling to me. I don't know. I remember as a kid to get off the water thing, but I would not play basically any horror game. I remember renting Resident Evil Survivor for the PlayStation, which is like the first-person shooter, light gun-esque game, and I barely could play it. I had to get like my aunt to play it, and we eventually beat the game. And I did play a bit of it, but I remember being like, yeah, I can't play this for very often or for very long. And then when you get older, you're like, you know, most of the shit is just me freaking myself out. And then that's kind of true even to this day. Like, if I listen to like creepy pastas, stuff like that, uh, just listening to them, even if they're the shittiest creepypastas ever, just getting yourself into that mood of like, okay, time to be scared, even though, oh, I'd say 100% of the time now, I'm not scared of any of the creepypastas. If anything, I barely pay attention to them. I'm probably listening to them while I draw, or if I am listening to them, I'm like, this story is dumb. Why would these characters do this? Why is it written like this? Why did there these inconsistencies or these stupid plot elements in their creepypasta story? Things like that. Uh, I don't know. I still find them entertaining. I still listen to like. I still go back and listen to old gaming creepypastas because I forgot of all of them basically. They're not very memorable, but they're entertaining in how like weird and awful they are most of the time. And the other half of the time they're just subpar. They're just kind of dumb. But they're still entertaining to me. They're like, you know, this would never happen. Obviously, it's a stupid story, but most of the time they're written like the same. I don't know how to explain it. It's like the same cliches in these gaming creepy pastas. But even though I'm not like I'm obviously not afraid of the stories or anything going on in them, you know, your brain still plays tricks on you. Like, oh, is it time to fear? It's time to fear, and you kind of get a little more alert sometimes, especially if you're alone. I don't know. It's just like it puts you in a mindset, or it puts me in a mindset. I don't know about anyone else. Oh yeah, yeah. This goes back before I started listening to creepypastas, but there was this thing called the Tails doll, and I'm sure people who are listening to this, somebody will remember this, but it was just a Sonic R character, and people would make scary stories about it. That was probably before I ever before like creepypasta was a term, I believe. They had this whole website dedicated to creepypastas of it. I'm just gonna retroactively call them creepypastas because that's what they were. They were all terrible. They were all like very deviant art quality, if I can say that. They they added like their OCs and they added all this other stupid shit. It was just fan fictiony, but uh, the main thing was you would go into the bathroom and turn the lights off, and you would play the "Living in the City" music backwards and record yourself doing it. And I guess the red dot of his antenna was supposed to appear in the mirror, which you know it would obviously be the recording red thing of a camera. Most cameras had that. Mine did, but yeah, I wouldn't do that. I I probably still wouldn't do that. That would still creep me out, even though it's really stupid. I don't know. Listening to the backwards music already is like unsettling. But doing it in the dark in the bathroom, even if you completely don't believe it, it's still like my brain's fucking with me. You know, like what am I supposed to fear? Nothing. But I'm still scared. I guess I don't know. And that's why I can't play like Five Nights at Freddy's shit. I just can't. I'm not afraid of the characters. They're goofy and they're dumb. I'm certainly not afraid of them after I see so much fucking porn of them for like years, but but I'm not afraid of the stupid robot characters. You know, I'm not really afraid of animatronics like some people were. I never really had a problem with that as a kid. I maybe if I saw some of the real fucked up ones in real life, I probably would have, given my track record of being scared of mostly everything, especially being scared of like the dummy from Goosebumps. But yeah, I can't play that game because it's like, oh, I'm freaking myself out. Oh no, it's tense. Oh no, I'm gonna get jump scared, and that like anxiety gets to me. Like I already have anxiety as it is. I'm not gonna play a game that just it just multiplies that. I don't know. Even if I'm not scared of it. I mean, it could be anything that jumps out at you. Which is props to those games for getting that feeling down. I mean, obviously, if you don't give a shit about the game, you can probably uh, get rid of that feeling, you know, if you're just fucking around. But I think playing it seriously, I wouldn't be able to do it. I guess we can go over me getting over some of the stuff. I said before that creepypastas are kind of, you know, not scary, but like back when they were new, there's some of them were, you know, maybe it was me freaking myself out, like I said, but I remember Slender Man. They had that whole series of Marble Hornets or whatever. This is more recent than anything else, but I remember being slightly spooked as Slender Man. I remember Smile Dog, that other creepypasta. I remember putting it on my as my background on my Windows XP computer. And around like, I don't know, 16. How old was I in 2012? I was 18, 17, 18 in 2012. I'm only 26, but watching like Let's Plays, maybe it was 2011 I started. I'm pretty sure it was earlier than that. It was definitely earlier than that. 2010, 2011, somewhere around then. Because I remember when I got a job and bought my own internet and stuff like that, this was like when I was 18, so this was before that. I would go to the library, because I'm still using the library computers, and I would download like episodes of Let's Plays, stuff like that, for like horror games, walkthroughs of horror games, stuff like that, and watch them at home. And after watching a bunch of them, I started to like not really be as afraid of stupid stuff like that, because I'm like, oh, it's mainly just jump scares. Why was I scared of anything? It was just mainly jump scares. You know, unless it's like underwater stuff, it was mostly jump scares. And then once you get over that, it's like, oh, some of these enemy designs they're either cool or they're dumb. There's pretty much no in between for me. But after watching so many of them, I just got annoyed of jump scares, which made me even less scared of stuff. One thing that still is kind of spooky is like being chased in a game. It doesn't even have to be a horror game. Being chased in a game is kind of spooky. Kind of gets that caveman brain going. Oh shit, something's chasing me. I need to get back to the cave. It kind of gets that feeling. And speaking of that, dreaming. If you've ever dreamt about like a nightmare or something, have you ever been scared of something that you normally wouldn't be scared of? It's just in your brain. It pumps you full of like subconscious caveman juice, and you're just freaked out. It brings out the pure fear. Because that's happened to me a lot. It's always stuff I'm not afraid of normally. Like, why am I afraid of this in my dreams, but I'm not afraid of this, you know, consciously? I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't have that buffer of thinking about things rationally in my dreams. So it's like, oh, see something spooky? Gotta run. My ape brain is tingling. I gotta run. But most of the times I don't really have nightmares. It's like once in a blue moon I'll have one. Especially about horror stuff. The most recent one was about real world things, and I won't get into that. But yeah, that was actually scary for a completely different reason. But yeah, I guess I'm done talking about spooky stuff. This recording has gone on for like 20 to 30 minutes. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. This is way longer than my last video. And I don't know if I'll make another one so shortly after this one, like I did with this, to the food one. But whatever I do next, thanks for watching it if you do. And I guess I'll see you next time.